Hey everybody, welcome into Sal's house, a pre-training camp, pre-Italy edition. I'm leaving for Italy literally later today, but I could not go to Italy without giving you one more Sal's house before training camp, which not only includes on this episode my very early, sure to be wrong 53-man roster projection. I'm going to do that actually. And I'm not, for years, I never did a 53-man roster projection because I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's so much that can happen, but this is what you want. You've wanted it the last couple of years, so I started doing more of them. So I'm going to give that to you here on this episode today. Before we do that, though, we're going to talk a little Bills schedule for the season because we have a guy that I'm going to bring in right now, Will Bradley of Fans of Buffalo, co-owner of fansofbuffalo.com, who's got everything you need for any road trip you want to go to, and including home games as well. Will Bradley joins me right now on from Fans of Buffalo here on Sal's house. Oh, well, let me bring you in the stage there. There you go. What's going on, my man? Good to see you.
Hey, how's it going, Sal?
I'm doing well. So want to bring Will in, talk about fansofbuffalo.com. And of course, we want to thank our other great sponsors, Herbal IQ, a New York State licensed dispensary, Sports City Pizza Pub. I'm going to tell you all about them in a little while and their big golf tournament coming up in September that I am challenging all of you to be a part of in a certain way. And TSC Buffalo Total Sports Enterprises. Lots of great stuff going on. I'm going to tell you all about that in a little while, but first wanted to get to Will because Will, you guys got so much going on over at Fans of Buffalo. And of course, this is your one stop for all Buffalo sports fans to go to all of these trips that the Bills have come up. I'm going to throw the schedule up on the screen very soon here, but why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do and how people can get involved?
Oh, yeah. So pretty much from the draft on, it's crazy here. So we're constantly moving because what we put together is everything you need to go follow the Bills on the road. We take care of everything. You simply find our packages, find where you want to go, sign up, and we got you covered. We get your flights. We have a lot of direct flights out of Buffalo to a lot of cities this year. We pick you up at the airport, your transportation from the airport, also to the game too. We take care of your hotel accommodations. We've done Miami. This will be our 5th year in a row, so we know that like the back of our hands. And then we have some weekend parties, whatever's going on with the Bills backers. We always let you know, and you're invited through us, and we always have a little something special for our group. And then on game day, we load the buses, take you right to the pregame tailgate. It's all inclusive, all your drinks and foods taken care of. And we always try to link up the Bills backers in every city to try to make it really big, and we got some really fun ones this year. And then you got your game ticket, and you're seated with all Bills fans at the game. And then we take you back to your hotel and to the airport when it's time to go home. So basically, you show up at your Bills gear, and you're good to go with us.
I love it. I'm showing it right now. Fans of Buffalo. You can go to fansofbuffalo.com. You can see this graphic that I'm putting up. Then there's a link right below the graphic for you to kind of get in touch with Will and his crew over there. Houston, Cleveland, Carolina, Atlanta, Miami, Pittsburgh, New York. You know, the thing about this year's schedule, not a lot of long trips. The farthest the Bills go is Houston, but that's actually great for people who just want to get in, go out to a game quickly, come back, have a great time, and really just make the most of it, Will.
No, yeah, I'm excited about that. For most of the trips since we got started in 2021 have been pretty long trips. So with Pittsburgh and Cleveland both being bus trips, we want to get some big numbers out there. We're staying in Pittsburgh 2 nights.
Okay.
On Saturday, come out Monday, nice little quick trip. Don't have to take too much time off of work. And then Cleveland, that'll be a day trip. So basically we're saying tailgate starts when you load the bus and it's a party from there on. So.
And I just want everybody to understand, like, everything's done for you here. It's a one stop. Like, Will's going to take care of everything for you. Like, that's really the cool part about this Italy trip, actually, that I'm going on today with my family. And if people remember on WGR, we promoted Go to Italy with Sal Capaccio for a couple months. And this is the trip. And really, we're going to Italy and everything's done. Like, our luggage, we just leave outside of our hotel room door, and they're going to put it on the bus and go to the next city. And we don't have to worry about that. That's what you guys do. You're like, hey, you just show up. We're going to take care of everything. And that's what's super cool about it. And obviously, because you've been doing this for a while, it's just growing, and people are really understanding that, hey, this is the way to go experience a Bills game.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Especially because we link up with all the Bills backers, so we want to make sure that all of our events coincide with what's going on, so you don't miss anything. And basically, we just bring all the Bills fans together in every city. And that's allowed us to grow to some really big tailgates. We have a fun one we just announced with the Atlanta Bills backers. And
all right,
That'll be a cool one.
Okay, so that's a Monday night game. How does that work for everybody? Let's say you're going to Atlanta, Monday night game. Let's throw up the schedule right now. So that would be here. Hold on, let me get your banner off there so we can see it. That would be the Monday night game, obviously, right before the bye, October 13th. If you want to go to that game, you got this this thing going in conjunction with Atlanta Bills backers. How's that work?
You got it. So we're heading out on Saturday. Well, Saturday morning we'll fly down to Atlanta, and then we return on Tuesday. So we're staying 3 nights again.
All right.
That one's going to be cool. We got a Sunday kind of welcome party that will take care of you for that one, food and drinks included. And then Sunday is the day with the Bills backers. We'll get started. We rented a huge lot. So basically it's going to be people driving up, parking like in Orchard Park, and then the rest of the lot's going to be kind of our all-inclusive event. So it's just going to be one event or one big lot with pretty much thousands of Bills fans, and it'll be a place to be for that Monday night game. And we should have some more surprises in there. So, yeah, we just try to make everything as easy as possible. And we're still a small company, even though we do some big stuff. We just have a few guys here to help operate everything. So if there's any kind of customization or any kind of things that you need within the package, or maybe you need to adjust it in any way, we're happy to accommodate that.
I love that. That's great. Yeah. So, I mean, like, hey, if there's something that, hey, you're thinking, I really want to do this, I want to be a part of it, but I just can't do this particular part of it. I need something special. Contact Will and his crew. They're going to take care of you. And folks, listen, I mean, I wouldn't be bringing Will on or having him a part of this show if I didn't know what they're all about and trust them and tell you how great it is to be a part of them. And we've hooked up in some cities. We did last year. I remember in Indianapolis, we were there. And anytime I get a chance to do that, I do. It's tougher for me. I travel with the team. I get in on Saturday, but man, you guys got some great parties going on. And when I get a chance, I come out and see you guys.
Oh yeah, we'd always appreciate that, and hopefully we can get you out some more.
Yeah, for sure.
Indianapolis, that was a lot of fun. We always try to let the bars know that when we get the words out with the Bills backers that there's going to be a lot of Bills fans that show up. They don't always believe us, but then you see what it turns out.
Oh yeah, I definitely do. One more time, I want to throw up the schedule. Is there a game? Not even from, let's just say from a fan standpoint, all right? From your fan standpoint, Will Bradley, is there a certain city you're looking to go to this year that you're like, you know what? That's going to be a cool trip for me?
I would say it'll be the Charlotte game. I know those tickets have been kind of expensive, but it kind of surprised me learning about all the kind of transplants that live in Charlotte. And I just think it's going to be a complete takeover. I haven't seen too much more interest in a while than a game like that, which really surprised me. Besides that, Miami's our biggest one, and that's always big whenever it's not scorching hot at the beginning of September. So both those games would be cool, and I would say definitely Charlotte first, and that's an awesome stadium. I've been there once, so I'm excited to get back there again and show all the fans that, because it's really state of the art.
And you know, I talked to a radio guy in Atlanta who basically said, look, those first 5 weeks for the Falcons will kind of determine how Falcons fans treat that game. If they're not playing well, you're going to get a lot more Bills fans because they're going to be basically dumping their tickets everywhere, right? So that'll be amazing. And if they are, hey, then you have a great game to go to between the Falcons and the Bills, obviously. It's very cool. I love it, man. You guys are doing some great stuff. Why don't you remind everybody again where they can go, what they need to do if they want to go to their one-stop travel package for all of your entire Buffalo sports travel at Fans of Buffalo?
So basically, it's easy as fansofbuffalo.com. You go there, you can look around. You can either check out our trips. We have the whole lineup ready to go with all the details and pricing. Then we're releasing all the tailgates now. We have 2 out just in case if you already have plans. We still love for you to join us before the game. So you head there, and then you can find our email and contact page. If you have any questions, shoot us a text or a call. Basically, just get to fansbuffalo.com, take a look around, and then if you got any questions, just reach out, and we'll take care of you. If it looks good and you like the trip, then you can place your deposit right there, and then you're all set, and we'll take care of the rest.
And the best part, you don't have to do anything, folks. You just let Fans of Buffalo take care of it all. They're going to take care of you. Will, thank you so much. Always love you being a part of Sal's house here, and love being a part of what you're doing at Fans of Buffalo. Look forward to seeing you on some great trips this year. And no doubt we'll catch up again soon, maybe even at training camp.
All right, there we go. Appreciate it, Sal. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. Will Bradley, Fans of Buffalo. He is the co-owner there. All right. How about that? That's very cool, right? I want to make sure that I just do this the right way here. Get myself back on the screen. There we go. I'm not Will Bradley, so I'm pushing all buttons. There you go. Subscribe on YouTube at Sal Sports. Thank you very much. So 53-man roster projection coming up during this episode of Sal's House. I want to make sure you get that out, but I got to tell you where you got to go to watch all of the content, whether it's Sal's House or, of course, Always Game Day in Buffalo with me and Matt Bove at Sal Sports on YouTube, at Sal Sports on Twitter. By the way, you need to subscribe. So here's the deal, folks. I now have a subscriber service on Twitter, not just follow. You can subscribe for additional creative content, all right? So I'm not going to be like, if there's any news for the Bills, you're going to still get it. You don't have to subscribe to me for that. You're going to have it. But if you just want additional stuff, you want to be a part of a cool community, go subscribe to me. Hit the pink button on my profile page. It's less than a cup of coffee a month, and you're going to get additional creative content, videos, and we have a Discord server that you get a special link to, and we can do that. And I'm doing giveaways every single month. Just gave away a Micah Hyde signed mini helmet randomly to one of the subscribers. Faith actually won it. Faith, congratulations. I love that for you. So congratulations to you, Faith, for winning the mini helmet. I think she got that in the mail over the last couple of days. Subscribe to me on Twitter. And of course, lots of stuff going on with a bunch of our sponsors here, including TSC Buffalo, tscbuffalo.com. Check them out, okay, at tscbuffalo.com. They have right now, all right, a lot of different events going on, including, check this out, MafiaCon coming up on July 19th. MafiaCon is coming up on July 19th. You're going to want to be a part of that. You see it there. 1 Seneca Ave in Buffalo. It's Seneca 1. You're talking Maxwell Harrison, Dorian Strong, TJ Sanders, Landon Jackson, Cole Bishop, Ray Davis, Deion Walker, Jordan Hancock. MafiaCon coming courtesy and a big part of TSE. And check it out. They have their show schedule coming up, the home opener. You want to talk about what Will's doing, fans of Buffalo? How about what TSE is doing as well? Patriots weekend, Saints weekend, Chiefs weekend. Look at these home games. We're talking road with fans of Buffalo. We're talking home with TSE. So we got a lot going on with TSE and tscbuffalo.com. And finally, how about their private Josh Allen sale and signing? A private Josh Allen autograph signing. All right. Courtesy of great sports signings at tscbuffalo.com. Check them out, tscbuffalo.com. I'll tell you a little bit more about some other great things going on, but you know what? You want to get to the 53-man roster projection. So we're going to make sure we do that right now here at Sal's House. Once again, the Bills opening training camp on July 23rd. So here's the deal, folks. The Bills have to get down to 53 men by the end of training camp, as you know. When that happens, okay, anybody who is released who's been in the league less than 4 years is subject to waivers. So if you have a guy that's in his second or third year and you release him, anybody can claim him. So the Bills have to be careful a lot of times on, well, do you really want to do that with a guy, or do you want to wait, maybe release a guy who's been in the league 4 or more years, because then you could try and get him back and you don't have to put him on waivers. That kind of plays with a lot of how you think here, which is kind of one of the issues I had with one of the specific positions, which is cornerback. And I'm going to bring up right now, here's my 53-man roster projection. I'll just get to it. So cornerback, the reason why I say that is Dorian Strong's an interesting guy. He's a 6th-round pick, but he's a rookie. If you release him, he goes to waivers, right? Any team can claim him. I don't think the Bills want that. So you might have to keep him on the team to make sure that that doesn't happen. So that might take a spot from somebody else. Now we know, and I'm starting with cornerback here. We can go through this, though. We know Taron Johnson's on the team, Christian Benford, Max Harrison. I think Tre'Davious White could very well be the starter week 1. That's a different discussion, but he's going to be there. Jordan Hancock is a mid-round pick they're going to keep. He has flexibility, cornerback and safety. I have Dorian Strong. In the yellow here is where you see that. That leaves to me Dane Jackson, who might be the odd man out. Or could it be Jamarcus Ingram? If you take a look at that list right there, Jamarcus Ingram could be the odd man out. I think they love Jamarcus Ingram. He's also a younger guy who's not a cheaper deal. Dane Jackson knows the system. Could they really wind up keeping, what would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 corners being kept. Now, that's because Jordan Hancock is also a safety, which brings in what you do at safety. Cam Lewis is also a corner and safety. I only have the Bills keeping 4 safeties. I have DeMar Hamlin as the odd man out. I think the way it washes, the Bills wind up keeping 11 secondary players. And actually, believe it or not, 12, considering Brandon Codrington is a cornerback, but he's obviously a punt returner. So I think it's a tricky decision and a tricky position overall at corner and safety. I know that, injuries can really have an impact on how these things wind up going, but man, I think this is going to be a really competitive secondary group as we go forward here for training camp and into trying to figure out the 53-man roster. Now, if you look over on your left here on the screen, you see both Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi are listed in a different color, having like a pinkish red color there. And the reason for that is both those guys are suspended, as you know, for 6 games. They do not have to make the 53-man roster. So what you see in yellow is 53 players. What you see in the pinkish is, I think is that a good, what do you call it? Rose? I don't even know what the color that is. I think it's pink. I'm going to call it pink. Anyway, those are 2 guys that are suspended that they kind of go in their separate bucket. So the Bills essentially get to keep 55 if you include them. They do not have to make the 53 and then go onto a different list. They just go on the different list right away, 55. And then when they come back, then you have to make some decisions. That's down the road. Lots of things happen between the start of the season and 6 weeks later. So to me, that kind of just sets your defensive line group with 10 defensive linemen. I have Greg Rousseau, Joey Bosa, AJ Epinesa, Javon Solomon, and Landon Jackson all making the team at edge. And then at defensive tackle, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Dwayne Carter, TJ Sanders, Deanna Walker. I think it's kind of easy, actually, with that group until those guys come back. But that's how it looks for me at defensive line. Go to linebacker. The only one that I really had a issue with here is, what do you do at the very end if you need somebody in another spot? A guy like Eddie Ulofoshio, does he actually make the team? I think he does, only in his second year because he's a special teams guy. But there's a scenario where I could see that not happening. I think the big thing that I the big thing you'd probably see there when it comes to linebacker is I don't have Balen Spector making it. I have Joe Andreessen not only beating him out, but being the main backup middle linebacker to this team behind Terrell Bernard. So Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, that's your Mike and your Will. Dorian Williams as Matt Milano's backup. I have Joe Andreessen as Terrell Bernard's backup. And then one more linebacker to me is Eddie Ulofoshio. Balen Spector just has not been healthy enough to justify that spot. He's got to stay healthy throughout training camp. And we'll see then from there. Shaq Thompson, yeah, they got him late. Yeah, he's got some flexibility. You can also say, look, Shaq, you want to stay in the league? You can join the practice squad. He may say no to that, but is he really worth trying to keep, that last spot at linebacker? I'm not really sure about that. And of course, your specialists, I'm saying on the bottom here on the defense and on the specialists, the only real, now obviously Brandon Codrington's that's a really interesting one. I think the Bills need someone they really trust at that spot. And Brandon Codrington is a guy that they trust on this team, probably more than anybody, maybe other than Khalil Shakir, to return punts. But Khalil Shakir just got paid $58 million, I believe it was. And he's their number one receiver, essentially. And he's just not going to be doing that full time. So I have Brandon Codrington winning that job, even though he's a corner listed. He's really just a punt returner. But then, of course, the punter, it's Jake Camarda and Brad Robbins, who are going to basically be going at it for a couple of spots. So we'll see how that works out for them. Let's get to the offense in just a second, but I want to tell you about the Sports City Pizza Pub Golf Classic. All right, there it is on your screen. Monday, September 22nd. You can go to that link you see. It's real easy. app.eventcaddy.com/events/Sports City Golf Classic. All right, I know. app.eventcaddy.com/events/Sports City Golf Classic. Monday out at Chestnut Hill, down, Broadway there, near Darien. And I'm telling you, I am sponsoring, Sal's House is sponsoring the putting challenge. And if you hit a bottle of liquor, you get that bottle of liquor. So go do it. And I'm challenging you to be a part of the putting challenge. And of course, we want to thank Sports City Pizza Pub. We want to thank them for being a part of Sal's House here. The best spot to go to watch all the games, everything else going on in baseball this time of year, when football games come around, hockey, whatever it is. It's an awesome venue. It is 1407 Niagara Street in Buffalo. Make sure you head over to Sports City Pizza Pub. They have all the beer on tap that you need, all the drinks, and of course, pizza, wings, the best in town. All right. So make sure you check them out. Sports City Pizza Pub. One more time, 1407 Niagara Street. Okay, let's get back to the 53-man roster projection. Here is the offense. I have that Josh Allen guy making it. And then, look, I could see a scenario where Mitch Trubisky isn't the backup, but I just think that is Mike White really going to be good enough to justify doing that? They really want to make sure they can get through a few games. If Josh were to miss, knock on wood, that would be terrible. But if it's just a few games, they want to have somebody they can trust that, is a veteran that knows the offense, and not that Mike White isn't. They do like Shane Buechele, but that's why I have Trubisky there. That would be the only spot, which was really kind of interesting. Hey, look, James Cook is under contract. He's coming to camp, I think. We'll see what he does there. And at some point, he's on the team, obviously. That stuff will get sorted out in one way or another. In the meantime, the exact same 5 running backs are coming to camp this year that were last year. Cook, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, Frank Gore Jr., and Darrington Evans. And I think it's going to look the same on the 53. Cook, Johnson, and Davis. Reggie Gilliam is back. We know he's going to make it. They have a lot of faith in Reggie Gilliam to be at that fullback, that blocking fullback, extra tight end, but he is a huge, huge special teams component for this team. Let me skip over to tight end. Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Jackson Hawes. I don't think there's any doubt those 3 guys are making the team, while Zach Davidson probably is on the practice squad again, gets elevated or takes a spot of somebody if there's an injury. But it's not really, I can't see them not keeping Jackson Hawes after drafting him and wanting a guy that they can play that extra lineman with, that you don't have to use a guy like Alec Anderson. I'll get to wide receiver in a minute, but speaking of Alec Anderson, he's obviously going to be on the offensive line. He's a huge part of what they do. He could be the extra offensive lineman, or could he actually fight for a starting job? I don't know. Might be too early for that, but David Edwards is a guard. We know Osiris Torrance is a guard. He's going to be starting there. Look at that offensive line group. Folks, I have not seen, and I can't remember any team in the league that returns not only all 5 starting offensive linemen, but all of their backups as well, from a very good group, by the way. Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown, your tackles. Connor McGovern's your center. Osiris Torrance and David Edwards are your guards. Alec Anderson can play guard. He can play center. He can even play tackle in a pinch. He's so valuable. He's on the team. Tylan Grable made the team over, he was their swing tackle over Ryan Vandermark last year. Vandermark was a healthy scratch a lot. And that brings me to him, by the way, Cedric Van Pran Granger. I have him making the team as the backup center. It's not set in stone, but it just feels like that would make the most sense to have somebody available there. But, you could see, look, Richard Garage, they really liked last year. And Chase Lunt, I think, is a guy that could push somebody for a job, but who is that? Ryan Vandermark looked good to me in OTAs and minicamp. I think he's slimmed down a little bit. I think that, he's a very good athlete for his size. We know that. The Bills love guys like that. But Tylan Grable beat him out when it came to, being on the actual active game day roster last year. So I do think it's a really interesting spot here for the maybe last offensive line spot. And we'll see how it shakes out. But man, look at that group. That is pretty much the same group as last year. And teams just don't normally have that. All right. When it comes to wide receiver, I don't think that really there's a lot of question at the 53 more than there is about the starters, right? Who the starters are, or I should say the volume and the opportunity, not necessarily the starters who's on the field first. I think, to me, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Joshua Palmer are your top 3 wide receivers in whatever order you want to place them. And yeah, I'm including Joshua Palmer because, they signed him to a nice deal. They got him for a specific reason. He's more of a man beater, and he's going to be a big part of what they do. But I also really like what Elijah Moore brought to the table during OTAs and during minicamp. And then Curtis Samuel's there. And to me, Curtis Samuel, what we saw towards the end of last year, that Denver playoff game, how they tried to use him towards the end of the year and incorporating the offense is what they've kind of really wanted to do all year last year. But because of the injury he had and missing, a bunch of the season, it just didn't work out. And when I say missing, like just wasn't as available as they wanted him to be. Not that he was missing a bunch of games. I think he did miss a couple. But I just see those 5 as your kind of entrenched guys right now. The only question would be if you keep a 6th player. Could that be Tyrell Shavers because he offers some special teams ability, maybe as a gunner because you need somebody like that. And he's also a little taller. They don't have necessarily the size in the wide receiver room. And he's worked his tail off. And I think that, maybe now is the time. But is there really a spot for him? Are you going to keep Laviska Shenault? He's really just a kick returner that can play a little wide receiver. The other guys, Jalen Virgil, KJ Hamler, Caden Prey, they're a draft pick. These are guys that you probably put on the practice squad. You elevate if needed. Maybe at the end of, preseason, they say, hey, I don't want to be on the practice squad. I want to, be able to go work out and tell teams that I'm available for them. And even though they're in a practice squad with the Bills, you're still a free agent. Sometimes that happens and they want to have a little bit more opportunity or control because they're not, happy with being on the practice squad or feel that's the right role for them. In the meantime, I think they're good guys for the Bills to have that, but we'll see. Does Elijah Moore, do enough and carry it over from OTAs and minicamp into training camp to actually have that spot on the 53? I think that's going to be interesting to watch. I think so now as I look at it, but we'll see as they go forward. So there's my 53-man roster projection right there. And it's the first time you're seeing it right here on Sal's House. So I'm glad that you were able to be a part of it here as we reveal it. Look, things are going to change. We go into camp. There's going to be some injuries along the way. Unfortunately, that just happens. And then obviously as they get towards the end of August, Labor Day weekend, right around there. That's when the 53-man roster has to be finalized. We'll see what happens. And once again, if you are in this league less than 4 years full, you are subject to waivers if you're released. So that means that any team can put a claim on you, and the Bills could lose some of those guys that have been basically, younger guys they drafted or they signed, undrafted free agents. If you've been in the league longer than 5 years, then you are a free agent. They can kind of wait it out. They can see you don't have to. They could say, "Hey, we'd love to have you back." We'll see where that goes. So a lot going on as the Bills go to training camp July 23rd. Okay, and of course, your schedule for not only the Buffalo Bills, but Fans of Buffalo. Want to bring you up one more time here. This is Fans of Buffalo. Check them out. Go to fansofbuffalo.com. We had Will Bradley on a little bit earlier. He told you all about it and all the great things that they're doing at Fans of Buffalo. And I'm telling you, folks, I really recommend you go to fansofbuffalo.com. Hope to see you at one of the road games this year. TSE Buffalo, TSEbuffalo.com. They got Mafia Con coming up on July 19th. They got the Josh Allen private signing. Check them out at TSEbuffalo.com. That's where you get all the information about how that works. You send stuff in. They'll make sure it gets signed by Josh Allen. They have all their shows coming up. I'm going to be a part of a lot of this stuff. So I can't wait to see you at a lot of these different events with TSE Buffalo. The home opener weekend, Saints weekend, Patriots weekend. There's just some amazing deals and memorabilia and signings and everything else going on at fansofbuffalo.com. And then, of course, Sports City Pizza Pub. Don't forget, sign up for the Sports City Golf Classic, app.eventcaddy.com/events/Sports City Golf Classic. Check them out. I'm challenging you to the putting contest. But in the meantime, it's September 22nd. That is after the Dolphins Thursday night game and rolling into the next week there. And that's going to be out at Chestnut Hill in near Darien. So check them out. And, of course, you need to head over to Sports City, 1407 Niagara Street for everything that you want as far as food, pizza, beer, wings. If you're not an alcohol drinker, they have plenty of that too, because I go in there and I'm like, yep. You have the patio there. You guys know I always say this. I'm not a big beer drinker. Love my seltzers and a little glass of wine every once in a while. So, that's what I like to do. But Sports City Pizza Pub has everything that you need. And of course, Herbal IQ. Thanks a lot for Herbal IQ for always being a part of Sal's House, a New York State licensed dispenser. If you missed the last Sal's House before this one, Brad Ryder joined me at Herbal IQ. We were inside their showroom. It was amazing. Check them out, Herbal IQ. I just want to get the exact address here as it scrolls over because they went to their new space and it's fabulous. You got to check them out. New York State licensed dispensary at 6300 Transit Road in Depew. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot once again for coming aboard. Did I leave anything out? I don't think so. Don't forget, subscribe. Don't just follow. Subscribe on Twitter. It's your chance to be involved in this exclusive community with more exclusive content coming your way. In fact, I'll tell you this. The 53-man roster projection I just put out, I actually gave that to my subscribers about a week ago, but now you have it here on Sal's House. Thanks a lot to Will Bradley for joining me here on a great edition of Sal's House. I'll talk to you next time. Who knows? Maybe I'll do something from Italy. Pay attention to the YouTube channel. It's always game day in Buffalo with me and Matt Bove and everything else going on. But in the meantime, I'll talk to you at training camp for sure.